Alright, hey guys, I wanted to give you a comparison kind of between Supermemo and Anki, and mainly just to get some stuff off my chest about Supermemo, why I'm using it, and also why I'm using Anki. So basically, I've only been using Supermemo for about 6 months, and I've been using Anki for about twice as long. Um, so let's get started with Supermemo. When you first get it, it comes in this, it's in beginner mode. And you can see very little on the page. They actually won't look exactly like this, but it'll look very similar. And I wanted to be able to see what the hell I was doing, because I was trying to figure out what's going on in Supermemo when I'm working with it. I want to know where the files are going, or where they're being stored, the structure of the contents and stuff. Otherwise, I feel very confused unless I know exactly what I'm clicking or what I'm clicking is doing. So here's the beginner mode. I believe this is on level beginner, right? There's not very many bars up here, or there's not very many drop-down menus or title menus or whatever you want to call them. And there's not very many buttons. Yeah, add new and learn. And that's fine and dandy if you don't care about what's going on behind the scenes. I do, because it's important to me that I know what Supermemo is thinking about the files or the notes that I create. It's a little bit more transparent, and Anki, well, Anki is entirely untransparent if you want to know what it's thinking about each individual card. It's entirely transparent in that all the information that you can can see fairly easily. In Supermemo, it's not that way. So anyways, so I said, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and go to Warrior mode. So I clicked Warrior mode, and this is what comes up, and it's got a lot of good information about the cards, what about your note card, and it's got some good bars up here that you might use, or I don't even, what do you call them? They're called windows or something. Good windows up there, toolbars and crap like that you might want to use. And I like writing cards like this. The problem is this window here for editing cards is too small, and all this crap takes up the whole page. And when I'm going from this, my PDF that I'm taking most of my information from, to this, it's not very easy to copy one to the other. But I still wanted to have the functionality with all these in here. I wanted to be able to go to these up here, and I wanted to be able to right click and get it to do whatever I want to do, which when you're in beginner mode you cannot do. So I left it in Warrior mode, and to set this thing up exactly how I want it, I go to Windows, or remove the dock, which puts it on here. That's way better. That's in one thing out of my way. I remove the background. That opens up the background. I left the hints on. Let's see, I got rid of the read toolbar. I got rid of the compose toolbar. And I don't even know what those are, but I got rid of these because I don't need them. And then I said, all right, well, when I'm trying to make a card, what do I want the view to go to? I want it to look like this. I want to be able to drag it over here. And then I want it to pop back up like this. So I made it like this, and I went to Window, and I said, I moved this up here because I like it up there. It doesn't matter to me that it's blocking the close window button over there, but I actually prefer it up there because I like to do stuff down here sometimes. Went to Window, and I clicked Layout, Save, Custom Layout, or Save as Default, and I made it the Simple Warrior. So I have all the functionality of your Warrior mode without a bunch of crap in my face. So I select Simple Warrior, and here it goes. So now I can do this and this. I can come over here, edit, and answer a question. So now I had the setup that I wanted, but I still wasn't having the cards. I didn't want the layout of the cards. The simple layout that they gave me wasn't quite enough. So basically, I went to, let's see here, tools. Oh shit, no, I went to templates, add template. No, I take that back. I started off with the default template here, and then I edited it to make it how I wanted it. I clicked on, so the way the Supermemo does things, if you click on here, you're going to get and it calls these things components. This is a component, this square is a component, this square is a component. If you click on a particular component, you are going to get a menu for that component. As you can see, that right click is different than that right click. Some things that bug me about this, I will say right now, I cannot get the image. Well, it says it starts off at proportional. I don't want it to automatically add images proportionally. I want it to add them normally, so that it doesn't stretch it. The picture gets added in and its default, or like its standard format and size that I copied it from. Also, another thing. So, anyways, well, that's one complaint I have. So you want to add a component. You can right click down here, and you get, can't remember the name of the menu, element menu I think, and you right click down here or on a blank space, and you go to components, and you go to editing, and I think shit, I can't. There's so much crap in here. I wish I could tell you. I added components somehow, and I actually think it's easier if you have the component menu open. So this is a reason why people complain about Supermemos, because there's so much crap on here that I can't ever remember what I do. But I think I actually went to here and add the toolbars. Compose? Yes, compose. And then here you can add in components to your template. And so I added a picture, an image component, and that's what this is here. And I added two HTML components, one here and one here. I sized them how I wanted to, and then I saved them as a template. And the template, you will see, you can go to search, templates, and you'll see that I have called this default item picture, I think. Yeah. And let me just make sure that's what it is. Apply a template. By the way, changing the template, you can right click, go to template, apply a template, and I'm choosing item picture, except, okay, so it's just called item picture. I saved it as item picture because in every single, I don't want to have to go change the template every time I want to add a picture to my notes. I use pictures quite frequently to help me get answers which I don't know the answer to. And you can see I even type in hints here, which I remove later on once I feel like I can remember the hint even. So I start off with this next to here, and I can type in the question and the answer fairly easily. I also can put in a picture if I like. And that was the template that I wanted to use for making simple question answer cards. Now, this wasn't enough for me to do the two card types which I like to use. I will actually say I prefer to do closed cards, but in Supermemo, you cannot add an item as a close. If somebody can figure out how to do this, I would love to, because I actually like to use close more than I like to use question answer formats. Anyways, so I have, I will add a template. I'll show you my other template. I made a template called Occlusion. So it comes with Occlusion, which is this. And it comes with this big red mark on here. And you put a picture in, you have a question and an answer. Now, My pictures are usually bigger because I'm working with anatomy and physiology and other things, and this isn't quite big. This is too small of an area for me to work with. Secondly, this red square is too large for me to work with. And if I want to add another red square, it's not quite as easy as I want it to be. So basically, I made my own template, and on my template, whoops, we'll click Apply Template. And there's shortcuts for this. I haven't quite, and one of the keys to using Supermemo is using the shortcuts. And when I'm writing cards, I use the shortcuts Alt-A, which is Add New, and I have set the default. I'll show you how to do that in one second. Anyway, here's my image occlusion template. Oop. That square looks a little big to me. I guess that's just because it was already on here. Anyways, my square is usually about that big. And I'm going to go to, in order to move these crappers around, I got to go to Components, Mode, Dragging, click this, move it. So this is basically what, and I'll just do it straight off the back. I'll go to File, or I'll go to Edit, Add New Item, and then this is how I'm creating a new card. I'm going to create a new, and I go to Apply Template. And I'm not usually doing it with all these keys, but occlusion image, and here we go. So I put my image here, paste it in there, hit escape to get this little red dot to appear back up, and then it's still in dragging mode. And then I don't know why it's doing this because I don't know enough about Supermemo, but I will figure it out completely at one point, and I will help you with it. But anyways, here we'll go to dragging. Now move this to wherever I want to be, and my image is there. I usually type in, so this, yeah, it's not an answer. This is answer. Okay, good deal. So this is basically what I type in as like a little memo of the picture here, like citric acid cycle, or TCA. That way, whenever I see this picture, or if I want to ask multiple questions about a particular red square, I ask it there. Normally, I don't even need to have a question here, because I know when I see a red square that's what I want the answer. I want to figure out what's underneath that red square. So I don't need to have right questions on all of them. I do on some of them, but it saves time if I don't. And I can just click duplicate. Anyway, so here's and then I type in my answer here. This gives me enough room here to write an answer, to write a question if I like, and to have a nice large image, which I usually edit in full screen mode like so. Okay, so then I'm going to type in Alt-A, Add New, this brings me back to my normal editing. Come in here, question, answer, or here I type in the question, type in the answer, hit escape, and I'm good to go. So now I'm going to show you how I set up the contents, and this is something that is a pain in the butt, but I need it for my own health. I don't know. So I understand what's going on here. I have it organized into, I guess Supermemo calls these categories. So this is the book that I'm working out of, the first aid for the USMLE Step 1. Here are the different sections in the book, and then within the sections I have other sections. And then I finally have items, or elements, elements. So you can do this, and the easiest way I've found, somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, is to right click this, click new, click insert element, or excuse me, category, create category. And that's going to come up with this. Now whatever one I've highlighted here is the level that it will be added on. I don't know why it does this. I figure I should be able to click something and it's going to add it into as a subcategory of that. it doesn't. It adds it at this level. So if I want to put this new one in immunology, I click this lymphoid structures, which is the level within immunology. And because I want it to appear at this level, I click next. I type in what I want it to be, immunity, and then I click next. And this is where you put in your default. When I press Alt A, I want this to come up for items, because Alt A is the typical item. Is typically what I do. I add an item, and so I have item picture, which is mine, and you can change it to whatever you want. Item picture is my default. That's the one I made and I saved, and now it's my default for this category, or for every category, because that's what I like. And as you can see here, for this one I made an article picture. For topics, I don't use topics. I have not made it that far in Supermemo to be able to use topics effectively, or articles, or whatever. But here you have it. Here's my defaults. And then I click finish. And as you'll see, here's my new category, which is at the same level of the one that I clicked when I was making it. The lymphoid structures, I clicked that. It made a new category on the same level underneath immunology. So then I want to add a new item to this. I click new. I click item. This automatically adds a sub item to immunity. The problem here is I don't. So let me show you what this looks like. I already set the default item here, and it's not the default item. So I have a question and an answer. Oh, escape. Type in an answer. Escape. And then I click Alt A. And here comes what exactly I want to have happen. A new item with the default item format or template that I made. For the life of me, I can't figure out why it does it the other way, but I just deal with it because it's not that big a deal, and to have one of those per category is fine with me. And then I'll hit escape here, and you'll see that. So say like I want to do this for this category. Now I've reached a new category. Go to contents. And I want to add something new to immunology. And I'm going to add, I added these. So I just do the same thing. Click here, right click, go to category, create, and I make it. There are ways, and the reason why I prefer Supermemo for long-term studying, which is why I'm using it now, because my test isn't for another year and a half or so. If something goes wrong or I do something wrong in Supermemo, I can fix it. In Anki, you cannot fix anything. If I exit, and the reason I had this happen is I opened up Anki one day, and I use Anki for my day-to-day studying, from test to test, which occurs maybe once every 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something. I have an exam, and I use it for that. I have thousands, and I have 20,000 cards. I probably have 30,000 cards on Anki. Not right here, as you can see, but I've removed them from it and I have them set. But I had a problem one day. I went to tools, or I saw up here and I said, oh wow, I have a ton of these due. Why is every single one of my cards due? And then I went to tools. I was trying to figure out my preferences, and I saw the next day start set, and it had to switch to 13 hours or 16 hours or something after midnight. I saw one like this. I go, God, how am I going to do 2,000 cards in one day? So I just had to burn through them and do as much as I could. I couldn't do them all. I just had to deal with it. Now, in Supermemo, if something like that happens, I can go through and fix it. I can edit each card individually. I can change the, I can say skip the last date or skip the next date, or start it on this date, or change anything I want for it. So, or I could have reverted back to another time. And you say I could have done that in Anki. I could have, but I had added cards that day and I had not saved it entirely, which might be my own fault. And by the way, I'm so scared working with Supermemo that I have decided every time I finish working a session with Supermemo, I click File, I click copy collection, and I have a copy. And for some reason, I click prepare collection. So actually, every time I quit Supermemo, I copy the collection, save a copy, repair the collection, repair it, and then copy the collection again. So I have one before and after the repair every time I stop Supermemo. And I delete the old ones over time. I don't know if that works, if that does good. It hasn't. It has not failed me yet. So I continue to do it. Maybe I'm a little paranoid, but I've heard problems with Supermemo, which I haven't had any. And I really enjoy this structure, this category structure that I can do. It allows me to study what I want to study whenever I want to. Another problem that I have is this one so I'll add a new one. I'll click add a new item, and you'll see that this is a light blue color. So I add this item in here, and if I want to go study this, which I do, I'll go to learn, and you see how there's new material here? That means that it has not entered the learning process yet, or the memorization process. I want it to be in the memorization process every time I add a new item, or not be in the learning process every time I add a new item. As you can see, this one, which I added with Control A or Alt A, is in the memorization process. I don't understand what's going on here. Somebody explain it to me and tell me how to get around this, how to add a new one here. I can't click Alt A here and have it come up with a new one for this category unless I've already added one, which I have to do by doing right-click New Item. Somebody please tell me how to do all this stuff, and I will be immensely more happy with Supermemo. That being said, I've got 300 and something, probably 500 cards on Supermemo. And I've been studying for, like I said, 6 months. And I just feel like it helps me memorize it better than Anki does. Anki is great for short-term memorization. I'm telling you, once I get out to 2 weeks, or 15 days, or 13 days, or whatever on Anki, I start to not remember crap. For some reason, it just, in Supermemo, I feel like I just trust and I don't have any scientific basis behind this. I just feel like it works better for long-term memorization. And that's why I chose to do it for my test that I have in a year and a half. If I had to pick one of these, Anki or Supermemo, that I had to use forever, I would pick Supermemo. Alright, it depends on what you're doing. If you want to study for the test in 2 weeks, you need Anki. Supermemo it's not meant, the way the logarithm works, you're not going to be able to do it that quick. It just doesn't work that way. I haven't been able to do it that quick. I'm sure you can set it up to where you can do it that quick. I'm not that advanced with it. I wanted to be able to do it right out the bat and have it done and be ready to go. And Supermemo makes you do that with the several tries that you get before you can enter it into the learning process. And with Supermemo, it automatically enters it in. And then the second time you see the card will be in a day or two. Whereas with Anki, you see it 3 times. First day, once the next day, then 3 days, and then 5 days or 4 days or whatever happens after that. If anybody has any questions, and once I finish making this, I'm outlining the entire book of the first aid for step 2013 for USMLE step 1 2013. I'm outlining it. I will have the whole book done hopefully by this summer and have memorized it or at the end of the summer, and I will be posting those so that everyone can use it. And it's basically the whole book, not a single detail left out, because it's my future and I need to memorize everything. But anyways, there you have it. There's it's not even quick, a long overview of Supermemo and some comparisons with Anki. If you have any questions or you have any information for me, Please let me know. Wait, one other thing. I will tell you, it's not the most, it is complicated because you can do a ton of things with it. Let me show you what this is when Flash looks like. This is, when I open up WinFlash, this is what I get. And let's say I want to add a, Jesus. I want to create a new, alright, I'll just open an account. That's what I meant to do. So this is what the editor looks like in here. And then you want to start actually editing WinFlash. It is similarly complicated to Supermemo, albeit considerably prettier, but similarly complicated without the ability to copy and paste. That is a crucial component that must be available in a space repetition program that I'm going to use. I have to be able to use copy and paste into the fields for cards. So also I have another one, and it's called Open Cards. This is very interesting. I have yet to work with it too much, but basically what this does is it applies space repetition to PowerPoints. And if you just want to memorize everything on a PowerPoint, which sometimes I do, and depending on how a teacher presents information, that might be an easy way to go. But look at this. This takes the title of a PowerPoint and the answers and the rest of the PowerPoint and puts it on a flashcard for you. That could be very advantageous and save you lots of time if your teacher gives you a PowerPoint where you just need to memorize crap. Sometimes that happens. And so I will play with this once I get a teacher that presents me PowerPoints not in PDF format, which I freaking hate PDFs. Another complaint I have with Supermemo is the inability to incremental read from PDF files. And I hate PDF because I can't switch it to HTML and have it maintain formatting. So anybody that, people always come to me saying that they love PDFs. So it's universal, everyone can use it, and it looks great. It looks great because it cannot be manipulated. It sucks. I prefer CHM format in which I can change the text size and maintain image quality. And some people say, oh, well, the CHMs don't have good images. Well, I'll tell you now that some of them do. And it just depends on the image quality that they put in there. For example, here's Bates, HTML, this is their CHM. And you telling me that this is not a good image quality for viewing, and that your PDF is going to be better? No, it's not. It's not going to be better. And you're not going to be able to change the text size relative to everything else. If I wanted to change the text size in here, I can do so once this thing loads because I have too much crap running and I'm using a laptop. But you can see. There's a way to do this, and I have done it. I can't remember, and I will get back to you with how to do that. Anyways, you can change the text size. I think it's the default size for Internet Explorer or something like that. I don't know, but this looks great to me. I love reading text like this. I don't know why people don't like it. I do. These pictures are great because this is great. Sorry, I don't know why I did that, but anyways. Whoa, that's not what I mean to do. Click on something else, quick. I just randomly clicked that, and this just happens on 50% of the stupid things that I do. Let me open up something else to cover that up. I guess that's about all I have to say. Get back to me. Let me know some of your thoughts. Let me know some ways that I can help you or you can help me. Look at that. I don't see a better image quality, and I can copy it. As simple as that. I don't understand. So you can, and with most programs, you can hold down the Alt button or Control button. Control Z, and then scroll on your mouse. And as you can see, the text is resizing. Everything is resizing. It looks good. Please tell me how this doesn't look good, and it still fits on my page. With the PDF, I'm opening it, I'm zooming in, and then half of the page is out of my view. I don't know why you would prefer that, but some people do. And so Control Z allows you to change text sizes for basically everything, which I will tell you that Onenote does a fabulous job of doing. If you open up Onenote, and this is where I keep all my information, I can Control Z and zoom in, and it has a great recognition ability. And its ability to zoom in and then maintain quality is remarkable. All right, hit me up. See y'all later.